Oops.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to CanesWear TV. As you can see today, it is me, as always, Gio, and joined here today with Miami Mondo. Mondo, Lakers, Canes, 305. No Brett tonight. Brett was having some technical difficulties and whatnot, but he will be back on the very next show, which is still this week. And Mondo, we're in full swing with spring practice. Already a whole week has been down with it. Plenty of stuff to discuss, plenty of things that I've heard. I'm sure you've heard as well. Canes baseball has turned things around as well. They're doing much better than how the sentiment was about maybe 2 weeks ago. You know, things have changed.
Yes,
you hope it continues that way. But fun times in Coral Gables. And let's get right into it, Mondo. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, my brother? Yeah, it's spring football game month, right? A couple weeks on the 18th on Saturday, and tickets dropped in today. Fans will be out there. So, yeah, baseball teams turned it around. I believe they're 22-7 now, so exciting times.
Absolutely. And aside from spring football, Miami has hosted so many damn recruits over the last couple of weeks. It's impressive in itself, but they're going to have a nice, strong group on campus tomorrow. I got a list here that Miami's side of things they sent out earlier this afternoon. Really strong list in itself. 2 5-stars on there. Potentially could be more. And this weekend is their big, what they call like their exclusive pool party. They do every year that they try to bring in all of their top of the line targets and try to get everyone together in the same room. Well, shouldn't say same room because it's a pool party, but same place, same time to kind of drive home the message about what they could do together as a class. But spring football wise, Mondo, quarterback, Darian Mensah, the feedback I've been getting outside of what the media can see, it's been very consistent and steady. And the biggest thing that stands out is the ball placement and the ability to push the ball downfield. You've watched Mensah plenty before he got to Miami. Just kind of what's your thoughts on it? Like, what are you kind of hoping for that Mensah could change the element with this team from last year to this season?
No, and obviously, I mean, I'm not there every day like yourself, but from the things that I saw from him last season at Duke, and when the short clips I've seen of him in camp thus far, he's not afraid to chuck it. He's a veteran guy. I like what I've seen that I believe they showed recently that him and Malachi were in California, I believe, training. I don't know if you saw that. So I'm sure that relationship is bonding. So yeah, he's thrown it deep to the other transfer receivers. And I mean, yeah, I know it's only April 1st, but this could be a very scary offense. This could be, I know like last season, Beck started off, he came back and he was hurt and stuff like that. But speaking of Mensah directly, I mean, cliche, but sky's the limit with this kid. This offense really can be something special with the running back room as well. But especially with Mensah, I think Mensah's the game changer and has a lot of people talking about Miami as not only making it to the Natty once again, but winning the whole thing this time.
I think no one would be upset with that at all. I mean, you can't raise the bar any higher than that, considering Miami was in the game. So I hope so. I am excited and bullish about this team from what I've seen, from what I've talked about with people that have been able to see more things behind the scenes this spring. The general sentiment that I've gotten from people, and I trust these people when they say these things because they've been never been one to sugarcoat, I would say, about these people I've spoken with.
Right.
They say we look good. They say the team looks really good. Offensive line maybe a little more ahead of than what they thought they would be at this point. You know, and even though there is some minor injuries within the room and whatnot, just some young players have stepped up. Some returning guys look good. they've held down their spots, and even some guys that are like second-year players, like Max Buchanan. This is a guy we talked about all offseason. He looks the part. I said it on Locked On Canes with Alex Dono on Sunday. I said
I
that
saw it.
he's going to be a guy. He's going to be a dude this year. Max Buchanan is definitely going to be a dude, but I'm curious how the competition continues to shake out and whatnot. And I don't necessarily really have questions anymore, Mondo, about like who the tackles are going to be. I've heard the feedback has been really good on Jackson Cantwell early on at left tackle. He's responded very well. Matthew McCoy's taken most of those reps at right tackle. I like hearing about some of the surprises, like Ben Congdon. It's another name I've mentioned in the past week that he's a little more ahead of schedule than people expected. You couple that with returning guys like Samson Okunlola or Ryan Rodriguez, SJ Alafaituli, will figure somewhere there in on the offensive line this season. I think they have a good nucleus. Is it devoid of some like real college football experience? Yes, but not entirely. Guys like Samson Okunlola, Matthew McCoy, Ryan Rodriguez, they've been around the college football game a long time. And a good portion of those guys have played plenty of games and started in games here. So I don't think there should be like any type of leadership questions there or anything. It's just mostly how that group is going to continue to gel as we get closer to the season and who will be that final starting five. I don't think Miami has an issue with talent there. It's just they're going to continue to compete and they'll figure out who's the best.
You've seen the quotes even this week. They're talking about what you used to hear in the glory years was the practices at Green Tree are harder than the games. I saw that a couple people mentioned that this week in reference to watching a couple of the early practices. And yeah, it's trial by fire. You're not going to learn unless you get out there and play. So it is.
You know what's funny that you mentioned that, Mondo? I've heard people mention this about the way Miami practices, like not even like when they go outside and because now the pads are on and everything and bringing ball carriers down to the grass and everything on Green Tree. But the way Miami practices with intent and just fiercity when no one's getting tackled or anything, like during just early procedural drills when practice starts. It's just guys that are going full speed, like as if it's a game, just putting in the effort. That's what some people have really been impressed by. It's just the intentional effort that is there. And I agree with it. Like I've heard those sentiments in recent weeks and I agree with it.
Yeah, and if you just go by the eye test and some of the visuals, Cantwell's towering over people. I mean, he's over these defenders and opening up holes. I saw a clip of Lyle going through a hole that Cantwell created, and it's a massive human being. He's going 18? Is it possible that kid's 18? Like, that's crazy.
But funny thing you mentioned Jordan Lyle. I said it after the season. I said he's going to be the forgotten man because he got hurt. People forgot that he won the starting nod going into Notre Dame, got hurt, all that. Season ended up becoming a wash for him. They shut him down. He's had a really strong start to camp, and I'm not talking about shirt and shorts type of things. I'm talking about in pads, contact. He's done well early on. And again, he's one of the guys that I've said early on in camp that buy stock into him now. I think people are going to continue to sleep on him because of what happened last year, but I'm not sleeping on Jordan Lyle. I'm buying stock.
So right now, obviously we're months away, but you see him as a possible guy to get significant touches week to week?
Oh, yes. As long as he is healthy and there's no hiccups along the way, yes. He was expected to be a really big contributor going into last season.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, even before the big playoff run, I can remember on here with you guys and people asking, was Fletcher an every down back? Until he had that massive playoff. And then now, like you said, Lyle seems a bit forgotten, a bit overlooked. You're right.
Yeah, I think Miami has a great situation on their hands with that backfield. Like Gerard Pringle and Shamar Brown being in that room. Yeah. Even one of the younger backs, like I mentioned early on in camp, I don't know how much he's going to play this year. Probably not a lot at this point because it's a deep room. But Javian Mallory, just
Mallory.
physically, he's reshaped his body a bit since he was at West Boca. He's in much better shape now than he was a year ago. So I'm bullish about that running back room. I love the receiver room. I could talk about the receiver room for days. I mean, Mondo,
I think I know who
Miami's
you're going to talk about. Yeah, I think I know who you're going to
got
mention.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
Miami's
one kid. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no problem at all. They've got an explosive man. Vandrevius Jacobs and Joshua Moore are the two guys that immediately come to my mind. That those guys can stretch the field. They can get downfield. They can win those one-on-one matchups vertically. Cooper Barkate, I've never understood the discourse from some fans questioning his athleticism and whatnot, but chemistry is all there between him and Darian Mensah. That's very obvious. Even what I've heard coming out of the private sessions. And then I've heard some people say, because like there's some DBs that they've won some reps against Malachi Tony deep downfield during like early portions of practice. Don't freak out about that, Kane fans. I'm telling you right now, from what I've been told, Malachi Tony is still Malachi Tony. He's still doing his thing out there when they go outside, when they start 11 on 11 work. But before we continue about the wide receivers, just quarterback, just backtracking a little, because we spoke about Darian Mensah. I think he's been as advertised from everything I've heard, from what I've seen, from what I've watched. Darion Coleman is an interesting, what I call an enigma. I think the world of this kid's like potential and talent. Like I've been told that, like the highs are high and the lows are low, but you get really excited about what he can be with refinement and just consistency. Like the flashes are there. They're absolutely there, what this guy could potentially be, because he has special arm talent. I know everyone loves to throw around the word special a lot, or elite or this or that. No, but he has special arm talent. He absolutely does. You see the way the ball comes off his arm compared to the others, and it's just different. It's different. He throws a very tight spiral. There's plenty of zip on that ball. I'm sure the backup competition will continue to run even coming out of spring. They're not going to close that down right now. It's too early for them to do so. But between him, the improvement that Luke Nichols made from last year, he's definitely improved from a year ago. Judd Anderson has even had some moments as well in the last couple of practices that would surprise some people. I know some people are kind of like up and down on him. He's had some moments himself. Just continue a healthy competition. No matter who wins the job, no matter if there's 3 or 4 oars on that depth chart, game one when they head to the West Coast. Just continue that competition. I think they have something good going on in there. I think Miami has also realized at this point that they got to go after some high-profile quarterbacks. You kind of see that with what they're doing in recruiting right now. They have their 4 top targets visiting all within like the stretch of this week and this past week as well. I think Miami's going to be fine quarterback-wise. I know some people have had questions about like, when they're going to stop taking transfers and whatnot. Maybe this is the year after this one, because I haven't seen them truly locked down to put all their effort in on a high-profile name. It was basically since Jaden Rashada. That was years ago. So I think the approach has changed. I think they understand too internally that it's not a forever fix just bringing in a transfer guy every year, so that you may need to kind of bring someone up from within the system. And I think they're getting there. I think they have some pieces to do so.
And I think some fans want that, because you see that even before we picked up Mensah. Oh, what do we, you got to start, having somebody from within. But the way it is now, and I hate to fast forward past this season, but if Mensah is what everything you're saying you've seen at camp and what I think he's going to be, I mean, he's probably going to be projected first rounder if he's performs the way he's expected to perform in this offense. I mean, now the kid from Oregon surprised a lot of people. He stayed. I didn't think he was staying. That was a big surprise. I mean, maybe him getting beat up. Maybe him getting beat up by Indiana. Maybe it made him think, "Yo, wait a minute. Maybe I'm not ready," or something happened there. But if and when Mensa does leave after this year, I hate to fast forward past the 26th season, but that I've already thought about it. That's going to be interesting because we know that Coleman's been hyped big time. Nichols been hyped big time. But come next December, January, February, if another top flight guys available that from this season, a proven established player, are you not going to go after him? I mean, of course you're going to entertain it at least. So it's a interesting dynamic going forward for what Mario and the staff has to do with that position and any position for that matter. Especially quarterback.
I think you absolutely hit it right on the head. I just it'll definitely be an interesting dynamic going forward, but I do think Miami has a couple pieces between with what they're trying to chase right now on the recruiting end and kind of what they have in the building that I think there's something to work with there. I think there is potential that there could be someone from within, maybe not next year, but maybe the year after. I do think it's coming, though. I think it's just one of those situations you can't continuously do over and over again, and they know that.
Well, there's been hype surrounding Coleman for years now. So, I mean, wouldn't surprise me if he is indeed the star everybody's talking about. But
there's one thing I want to mention, though, about like the quarterback situation going into this year, because I've seen some people commenting this about like just constantly comparing Darian Mensah to Cam Ward, and I don't think that's a fair comparison. Not because of talent. Darian Mensah is very talented, but I think yes, they have some similarities in ways, but I don't think it's like a 1-for-1 between the two. And what I mean by that is, I think, at least from what I've heard, what I've been told, especially coming out of the weekend, that with Mensah, maybe not the same type of improviser out of the pocket like Cam Ward was, but I do think something that he does do better than Cam Ward, and this has already been on tape as well. I think Darian Mensah is better as a downfield passer than Cam Ward was.
Wow, yeah. Gio Million, bringing it. Nice.
I do think so. I said it Saturday to Dono. I said that I think not Saturday, Sunday, that I believe that Miami could be more explosive on offense, like in terms of like those big chunk yardage plays, 20-plus yard type of plays, especially in the passing game. I see that in the cards for Miami this year, just from a roster makeup standpoint with the quarterback they have, his strengths, and kind of what they have surrounded him with too. I believe so. I believe they're going to be a very explosive passing game.
Yeah, if you're a DC, I don't know how you prepare for this offense, honestly. I mean, you're talking Arcade, Malachi, and then you mentioned Moore earlier with Jacob. Scary. And I thought you were going to mention a little while ago the kid that everybody's talking about is Wingo.
Orion Wingo. Yeah, he like I said, since he first arrived during the playoff practices, he really impressed people since he's arrived here. But he's had a couple of solid practices along the way. He is the one guy when people have asked, like, what do I think for the freshman wide receivers that have arrived? I think he is the most likely to play this year. And then following him would be a guy like Van Spafford. But Wingo is that first guy in line that of that freshman receivers that came in, he's the one who'll play. But I think they got a great situation on their hands with the wide receiver room as well. I mean, you return Malachi Toney. You bring in Mensah's favorite target at his previous stop with hold on, Mondo had dropped out of here for a second. 1 sec. Here we go. There you go.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
Yeah, no problem at all. So What I was saying though, like I mentioned about like Wingo, he's drawn a ton of rave reviews since he arrived during the playoff practices. Like he was giving some of the guys trouble that were playing in playoff games that are on this roster right now when he first got here. So they're excited about him. I've mentioned in recent weeks as well that of the freshman receiver, he don't worry, no problem. Of the freshman receivers, he'll be the one most likely to play from that group.
Fuck, man.
And then you good, Mondo?
Let me try this again. You there?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me now?
I don't think you can hear. I can't hear you. This is a professional show, everybody. Hold on a second.
No problem. Just hold on, guys. Mondo's having just a small technical difficulty. Let's see. Whoa, there are plenty of questions here. Hold on, guys, because we're almost done with, just our points that we want to make and things that we've heard and discussed. Mondo will be right back in here. He's jumping right back in the loop. Hold on. Oh my God, this troll. JV, what are the rumors being put out that Lyle was playing tight end? My guy, you never stop, JV. All right.
Good now. I think we're good now.
Okay. Yeah. So
there we go.
On that discussion though that we were saying about the receivers, I'm going to say it now for the third time, but Wingo, he's grabbed a ton of praise since he first arrived.
Right.
During the playoff practices, even to the point that he was giving guys trouble that played during the playoffs in the secondary when he first got here.
Wow.
Of the freshman receivers that came in with this most recent class, he is the one most prepared to play out of the gate, that he will play this year. I don't know about start. There's a lot of competition going on. I said before spring, and I still stand on it now, I like Joshua Moore to possibly be that third starter.
Okay.
We'll see how it shakes out. There's talent, there's competition, but yeah, I expect Samari and Wingo to play. I just want to see kind of how they determine like who are the 5 to 6 that they are going to play this year. Like it's obvious, some of the first few guys, like you're obviously going to see Malachi Tony, you're going to see Cooper Barkay, you're going to see Joshua Moore out there. You're definitely going to see Vandrevius Jacobs with what he's been doing early on and the chemistry and connection he has with Mensa early on in the program. Or you even look at a guy like Cam Vaughn as well, who's really caught some people's eyes early on. Dalen Upshaw could play too. We mentioned Samari and Wingo. So I think the competition will be interesting, just stretching out from spring now to fall. But I am curious how they're going to be able to determine that or trim it down, or if it's going to be a week-to-week thing where they'll have guys continuously battle to get those snaps is what I'm curious to see, because to me, it is the most deepest receiver room that Miami has had in some time. And I mean that not just from a talent perspective or potential, but just from a skill set standpoint, the different body types that they have in the room. You have guys that are like 6'5", 6'4", that they could run, they could jump, they could catch, they could play through contact. You have your slot type receivers. You have the guys who are right in between as well, more of like your Z receivers that are like 6'1", 6'2", can play after the catch as well, are consistent in terms of moving the chain. So I like what Miami has in the receiver room. I think it's very diverse. The same words I used with Dono on Sunday and continue to say it. I like Miami's receiver room. I've heard nothing but good things early on. Tight end, on the other hand, though, I know a lot of buzz has drawn around Gavin Mueller, and rightfully so, since he's arrived. 6'6", over 250 pounds. From what I've heard, running near the 4.5 range at that size is kind of unheard of or not very common for a tight end at that size, but still impressive nevertheless. Thing is, I'm sure fans have heard this before, but Elijah Lofton, he's been very consistent throughout camp. That even stretched into the weekend during the first padded practice. So, hold on. Let me address a troll really quick. JV, why do you continue on with this, my man? Lyle at tight end, according to rumors. This guy doesn't stop. He's in group chats with me. I've known JV for about, what is it now? How many years, my guy? Like 16, 17 years? I've known this guy since I was a kid myself. I go way back. He's a big-time Hurricane fan, him and his family, but all-time troll, too, if you ever ran into JV on Twitter. Let's see.
All right, for the last time, I'm sorry. I had to put my son to sleep. Apologies.
No, you're good, man. I've been holding down the fort. No problem at all. So,
so last year, we were talking about the receivers more. He showed flashes last year, right?
Yeah. One of the things that kind of held Josh Moore from playing more last year,
that's why you're a professional media star, my friend. You see that? I see what you did there.
So I spoke with someone that actually played for this program, and I kind of picked his brain on it, on like his opinion of Josh Moore, and he thinks the world of him too. Kevin Beard and even just the coaching staff in general, like how they view what he could be. They think this guy could be absolutely incredible as long as everything comes together. And sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. That's why potential can be a scary word. But one of the things that I was told from this guy, who he played for this program as well, was it was refinement that kind of held Josh Moore from playing more often last year. It's not so much that that he can't catch the ball, or that he's not big, or that he's not fast, whatever, but more so consistency, like from a route running perspective, just making that more crisp, doing it more efficiently, and just even, again, the consistency standpoint. There was a lot of times during practice last year where Josh Moore, Mondo, there was a practice last year at around this time, Josh Moore exploded for 3 touchdowns in one practice. And then the next day it'd just be he'd make some catches or whatever. I think what fans may miss, that it gets lost in translation of this, of why some guys play more or whatever. The coaches take a lot of value in how you practice.
Of course, absolutely.
You have to bring it on a daily basis. You can't look like a superstar one day and then the next you're just, I'm not saying that that's entirely the story with Josh Moore, but that was some of it, why some people who, at least fans who were expecting, he had these 2 touchdowns against USF. Man, we should see so much more of him going forward. Whatever. He seized his opportunity, but there was a couple things mixed there. One was getting better as a route runner, which he knew that, and that was something he was working on with KB since last year. But the other thing was he got a little banged up in that game too. You go back and watch the tape, he actually got a little banged up, which is why he missed some time even afterwards. So, but I'm super bullish on Josh Moore. People have asked me, who do you think could win that third receiver spot? I think as long as he stays healthy the rest of the way and that it comes together, I think he could be that third guy. And I think after that, you could have any combination of, I think Vandrevius Jacobs most certainly is going to have a role. Whether he starts or not, he's going to have a big role in this offense because of Mensah's skill set. Cam Vaughn as well, he's going to play plenty. Samarian Wingo, Dalen Upshaw. They got a lot of different guys. And like I was saying earlier, Mondo, before you had cut in and out, I wonder if they're going to handle that situation with like I've said for a while now, like that 5 to 6 man group, but you have maybe, I think you asked me, I think they have 8 receivers right now that could absolutely play. Like they could give you legitimate reps in games. That's a tough situation to handle because there's only one football to go
Yeah.
around. It's kind of hard to keep everyone happy. So I
Yeah.
hope maybe it's just ongoing competition throughout the year. Like, hey, you want reps? You got to practice the hardest this week if you want to get in the
No,
game.
and obviously most of the targets are going to go to Malachi and Barcade, obviously. So, yeah, there's only one football. What do you see about? We haven't discussed yet the tight end position.
Yeah,
What do
so
you see
I was
going on?
mentioning that when you had cut out.
Oh, okay, okay.
There's been a ton of buzz, that at least fan wise, of people talking about Gavin Mueller, and rightfully so. He's
Mueller, right?
over 250 pounds. I've heard that he could run as fast as a 4.5. I believe that's like a high 4.5, but still at that size, that's fast for 6'5", 250. The thing is, there is something going on, and that had went on since last year, that Elijah Lofton has been very solid and steady in practice. And I'm talking about coming out of Saturday. It's been throughout spring. It's been seen in the media portions as well. He's not an easy cover. So I'm wondering, does it get all put together? There was some glimpses. There was good and bad last year from him. We've seen this before in the past where some players, they kind of lose a year because of injuries or whatever the case may be, and they bounce back the next year. I'm curious to see what he can be for Miami this year. I'm not ready to jump the gun and say, like, oh, I think he's going to be big time, because I'm going to be honest. I was one of those guys who said that last year because of what we were watching.
Yeah.
No, Armando, I'm not kidding you. This guy was
No,
phenomenal.
I remember on here we were saying that he's going to be probably our 1A option overall, not just tight end.
He was phenomenal during the offseason, and it's just I heard some discussion about like being a little nicked up during the season and whatnot, but it just seemed like he never found that groove completely last year. There were some moments towards the end of the year, but never like what we saw at practice. So I hope it translates this year. He's been solid and steady all the way through so far. I know plenty of people have had questions about a guy like Israel Briggs. Like I've said before, since the first week of practice, biggest thing that stands out about him, supremely athletic, in my opinion, when you compare him to the other tight ends. Really impressive, very agile, but it's clear that, yes, he's going to have to continue to put on size. I think that could be one of the attributing factors that may keep him off the field a lot this year. They changed the red shirt rule, so I'm sure Miami's going to try to get a little creative, get some of these freshmen some significant snaps in certain games to get those real reps. But I think this is possibly like one of those type of red shirt years for a guy like that. I do think, and I said it on Dono's podcast, that I think down the line he's a guy who can be a guy because the tools are there. But I'm looking at specifically Luka Gilbert and Gavin Mueller, like which one of those two can step up alongside Elijah Lofton, because I know Shannon Dawson and even Mario Cristobal, they like to run some 2 tight end sets within their scheme and philosophy. So I know Miami would like to continue to do so. We'll see what happens. I liked some of the flashes I saw from Luka Gilbert last year, even when he came in for some key reps during the playoff run. So we just got to see. I mean, we touched the offensive side, defensive side, Mondo. I've been hearing a ton of good things on Justin Scott and Armando Blunt specifically, of like returning guys. I've heard nothing but great things on those two. People are excited about what Marquise Lightfoot could be this year.
Lightfoot, right.
From a pure just like pass rushing standpoint, the belief is that, yes, he can bring that same type of impact that Ruben Bain did and Akeem Mesidor did from a pass rushing standpoint. So I think the defensive line is going to be fine. Obviously, you don't have Ahmad Moten right now, but I love hearing about the good things that guys like Logan Nagel have shown early on, guys like Keshawn Stansel, who the coaching staff was supremely high on coming out of high school. I think the only thing with Keshawn Stansel is that like maybe a similar development path to a guy like Justin Scott that maybe a little light his first year. It still needs to put on some size, but the talent is obviously there. It's you can't miss it. But yeah, I mean, Mondo, what are your expectations with that defensive line? You know, it's never easy replacing a Ruben Bain, never easy replacing Hakeem Mesidor, but I mean, you return a huge piece like Ahmad Moten. I think Ahmad Moten could be like a first or second round draft pick as long as he duplicates or does better than what he did last season.
Yeah, when you have, Ruben Bain was quoted recently as saying that he thinks this season's Miami defensive line will be better than last season's. I mean, that speaks volumes right there, because we're going to have 2 defensive linemen drafted in the first round in a couple of weeks, right? So, yeah, I mean, a lot of I definitely want to see. I mean, all the hype right now is Lightfoot going to take off and become the next star at that position? But yeah, we saw last year when you got that disruptor in the middle, like a Moten, it changes and flips everything. We've been joking around about DTs for how many years? Like, when are we ever going to have that Will Fork or
can he play DT?
Damian Lewis, right? People, everybody talks about
Mondo.
Everybody talks about Jake.
Saying. That used to
What's
be
that?
the old thing. That used to be the old saying. Anytime Miami got a commitment pre Mario Cristobal era, everyone used to say, "Can he play DT? Can he play DT?
Yeah.
Can he play DT?"
Yeah. I mean, and everybody showers Jason Taylor with love, and God knows he deserves it. But I think the Damian Lewis hire has proven to be a damn good one. And he was an underrated player himself. He was a hell of a football player. So what are my expectations for the defensive line? I mean, depth. Like, you're gonna rotate 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, fresh bodies, and right now you got to be able to buy in and trust Jason Taylor the way he can coach him up and Lewis. And I think I'm excited. I think they're going to be just fine. And now I hear you say that about Scott, etc. I mean, obviously it's not Bain and Mesidor, but I think we'll be fine at that position.
I think so too. I mean, like I said, it's never easy to replace a guy like Ruben Bain and Hakeem Mesidor. But I do want to remind people, Hakeem Mesidor did not play at that level the year before.
He was hurt, right? He was injured a bit?
Yeah, he was injured a bit. He was coming off a significant injury, was playing a lot of D-tackle that previous year. Ruben Bain dealt with an injury majority of that year, missed a lot of time, just was never really himself even when he got back from it.
Like if somebody would have told you a year ago at this time, Gio, I think Mesidor is going to be a first-round pick, what would have been your reaction?
I would have thought they were crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, I did feel that Mesidor was at the wrong position.
Right.
You know, I don't think it was the best move to put him inside, but I mean, I never would have thought he was going to be a first rounder. Though. No. And my question always that came up, it's not so much that I didn't think he was a really good player. I did think so. I would always remind people, like, don't forget what he did when he was healthy, when he was playing DN and when he was healthy. Like, he had a really good year. Like when he first got here, a really good year.
Really good. He sure did.
So, yeah. And I feel some people forgot that, but never did I think first round. And a lot of it had to do was that I just thought, you know, the scouts or just GMs would kind of knock him for that, like, oh, you know, he's a much older prospect and whatnot, because that happens. It absolutely does happen. I'm sure it's still happening with like his stock, but I think some teams are just like, he's so damn good. Like, damn the age. Like, I want him on my team. He could start day one.
And a great thing to see, it was posted today. I'm sure you saw it, or if you didn't, that obviously he's preparing for the draft in a couple of weeks. He was down at camp helping out the kids right now. It's April 1st. And that speaks to the guys coming back, imparting their wisdom. You see the Michael Irvins, I was there in the Cotton Bowl in Texas. I'm looking down at the sideline. Michael Irvin's there. Ray Lewis is there. Mesidor. Mesidor's got a draft in 2 weeks. He's here on campus helping the kids for next season. So that's huge, man. That's culture changer, big time.
Yes. it speaks volumes to the culture that Mario
Yes.
Cristobal created.
Yeah.
The players coming back, the type of players that are coming back too, the involvement, like you said, Mesidor being there. The draft
It's April. He's got the draft in 2 weeks.
Yeah, what is it? The draft's the 26th, correct?
Yeah, late this month. I'm sorry, late this month. Yes.
But still, even at that, like
Yeah.
he could be relaxing, spending time with family. No, he's down there on Green Tree with his brothers, putting in time. So it speaks volumes to it. And even like you see all the guys coming back now. Mondo, I've heard so many stories speaking to these guys at events that I've been to. And they always say it about like the previous regimes, like, yeah, they would always like try to act like they want us around, but then at the first sign of adversity, they would try to push us out the door. It's kind of like, oh, there's nothing to see here type of attitude. Mario didn't do that. Mario doubled down.
Yep.
He doubled down. Even like when things have gone bad, he didn't push people out of the building that have been through this program in the past, that have done great things here. No, he continued to embrace it. So, look, I think it's gone a long way for them. I love where Miami's headed as a program. I don't think this is a one-off type of thing. I remember fans I get it. Fans upset that they lost in the national championship game. I absolutely get it. The block kick, everything. Yep. But I think there were some fans that were a little too hysterical, saying, "Oh my God, we're never gonna get back here." Guess what? For the fans who said that Miami's never gonna get back to that point, I remember the same people that said, "Oh my God, Cam Ward's gone. We're never gonna get another quarterback like this."
Yeah, no. Last season's team and that playoff run will be known as the one that I saw a little while ago, and of course you can agree or disagree. Some reporter guy posted that the Cotton Bowl last season, or December 31st, Ohio State Miami, was it all time the college football game that had the most guys ready to be in the pros immediately type of game between both rosters. They're involving Miami in that talk. They weren't doing that 2 or 3 years ago. So just even have Miami in that discussion with an Ohio State and stuff like that, it just tells you that we're 4 or 5 years in now. The absolute 360, 180, whatever the hell you want to call it, where we're at right now, it's remarkable. Yeah, sure. I was there. It sucked to walk out of that stadium losing. It hurt like hell, but nobody, even the biggest positive diehard Canes fan, if you would have told them before the season, we're going to be playing here in the Natty, they're like, what? Yeah, they made the national championship. So,
Mondo, I was so upset. I wanted to knock over the stupid yacht they put outside the stadium.
Dude, I was sitting in towards that end zone where they blocked the punt. So trust me, seeing that guy, I can't tell you how miserable that was to see that Indiana guy run into the end zone, and my wife, who barely knows football, hit me in the arm and say, "They can do that?" Yes, damn it, they can do that. That was the worst. So yeah, but Ole Miss, Ohio State, A&M, just a run for the ages. It was just so. I want to look forward to this season, but it really was spectacular. It was amazing.
If anything, to me, I think the interior of Miami's defensive line could be better this year than it was last year. I think that is going to make a difference. Just even in terms of how things open up for the linebackers within the defense as well, and makes life a little bit easier on the ends too. But one last guy I want to mention of the D line though, Hayden Lowe. Mondo. This is what I was told.
Bring it to me.
The ability of the best of both worlds of being able to play the run and rush the passer. That is the mindset, what they see with him, that he could be the entire package as an edge defender. Wow. So I want to see it. That's what I've heard. I'm going to continue to ask more. but that's the early returns on that. So I'm excited. I've been a Hayden Lowe preacher since last year, just
Yeah.
off the physique and everything. Like he's like one of those first off the bus type of guys. Like, it's just total freak show how he was also really young when he got here too. For a guy that's 18 going on 19 right now, what he looks like, that's not normal.
Yeah, I was literally just about to ask you. I mean, because I want to see if Lightfoot takes that next step. But other than Moten, I was literally just about to ask you, who do you see on the D line becoming that like star impact guy? So you may have just answered the question.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that I've said specifically of that, I think Justin Scott, in my opinion,
Right.
is going to be the one that I know there's some sentiments about Lightfoot too, but you asked me personally, just my opinion. I think Justin Scott's going to be that guy that's going to continue to like really elevate. I think he's going to open a lot of people's eyes this year. If you weren't paying attention to that back half of the season last year, I think he only scraped just barely what he is capable of doing. I think, especially with the strength that he's put on, like the size and everything, and just how it looks now, he's matured a lot too, just physically, and I think it's going to pay off dividends. I really do expect a big year from Justin Scott, as long as he stays healthy, because I always try to put that asterisk, because some people say, you said he was going to have a big year, and then the guy gets hurt. Like, no one can control that aspect. You can't. But linebackers and DBs. Linebacker, I've heard plenty of good on Chase Smith, Kamal Bonner, Cam Pruitt. Those three specifically I've heard good things on. And my personal opinion as well, Mondo, Kamal Bonner looks like a different guy than last year. Physically, the way he approaches things, he's healthy now.
Nice.
I'm not ready to say who I think could potentially start next to the Muhammad Toure. You know, there's a lot of competition still ongoing. I like the athletic traits I've seen from Kellen Wiley Jr. I want to see if, you know, as like when Miami gets to their first scrimmage, which is coming soon, an actual scrimmage, if there's any of the younger linebackers that pop during that settings, because we're still fairly early into camp. You know, pads have only been on for, let's see, that was Saturday, Tuesday practice passed. It's only been 2 practices with pads on. So there's still
that first scrimmage will be next week. When's that first scrimmage? Next week or the week after?
From what I understand, the first scrimmage should be this weekend.
This weekend. Okay.
I'll have to double check on that, but I believe it should be this weekend.
All right.
And defensive back wise, I said this on Dono's show. I don't have to mention J.J. Dunnigan. I've spoken about J.J.
I was
Dunnigan.
about to ask. Yes.
Yeah, I've spoken about him plenty. He's going to play this year. He's played a lot at safety early on right now. That's where he's getting a bulk of his reps. But I think the guy that people are not talking about, that I think they'll be talking about soon, Conrad Hussey. The transfer from Florida State / Oregon State. Former St. Thomas Aquinas guy, played under Jason Taylor at St. Thomas Aquinas as well in high school. I think he could help Miami this year. He can absolutely play nickel. He can play some safety as well. It's been more reps for him at the nickel early on. I think he can play. And I don't think people are giving Omar Thornton enough credit for his ability to actually cover as well. I know that some concerns people had that, like, yeah, people say he's physical, he can tackle, whatever, but people were saying, can this guy cover? Can this guy cover? He can. So, but Conrad Hussey is that guy that I want to single out specifically. I've talked about J.J. Dunnigan plenty. Everyone knows about J.J. Dunnigan already. Everyone knows that he's going to be one of the 2 biggest impacts as true freshman this year, barring injury. But Conrad Hussey, don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him. So with that said, let's jump to some questions here, Mondo. I see plenty of people dropping questions. Hassan shared here, Gio and Brett, the dynamic duo. It's not Gio and Brett today. It is Gio and Mondo. Brett had
do I have a beer in my hand? I can't be Brett. Come on, baby. Water. I got some water here.
Hassan said, "I don't believe it. I was here before Juan Manuel." That's a first.
That's
Juan
true.
Manuel
That
is
is
always the
true.
first. Let's see. He said, "Hopefully Mario's pool party will be epic. They're saying most of all the top players will be there."
Yep.
Yes, I don't want to list down a whole names of that yet because they're still expecting a few more for this weekend. But I'll share this though because they are going to have some key visitors in town tomorrow. Just some specific names I want to bring up here. I have it right here. They shared it with me earlier today. Peter Bork, 4-star quarterback out of the Midwest area. Mark Matthews, 5-star offensive tackle right in Miami's backyard. They're trying to lock him down. St. Thomas Aquinas. Dakota Garant, another 5-star receiver that Miami is hosting. Miami, Mondo, I've never seen Miami in it so much for 5-star receivers. It's so long. Like, no, not like that they're being flirted with, but like actually in it, like really at the table in these discussions.
It's
And
crazy.
in my opinion, I think it has everything to do with what Malachi Tony did.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
I
Sure.
think the perception really changed about Miami with that position overall. Jordan Carhoff, tight end target for Miami, has an offer. David Jacobs, 5-star defensive end, committed to Ohio State. Came very close to committing to Miami right after the new year, even actually right before the week of Miami, Ohio State during the playoffs. I've said this before. Miami's continued to chip away. His younger brother will be on campus too, as well. They're going to be here for multiple days. They're expected in for multiple days. He's the one guy I've got to pick wrong on so far this year, Mondo. But I'm not removing the pick because I do think it's one of those situations that Miami could, I'm not going to say for sure, but that I think they could eventually end up winning out in the long run. The family is very supportive of wanting the boys to be here to play at Miami. They really like the program. They like the coaches here. And it doesn't hurt, too, that the godfather is the man himself, Mark Richt.
Look at that.
Yeah, and a few other key targets. Xavier Perkins, 4-star defensive tackle that Miami's been looking at from the Carolinas areas. And 2 interesting prospects because they both recently reclassified in the past 2 months. Zion Davis, who used to play at Miami Killian, transferred over to Miami Central this offseason. He reclassified down from 2028 to 2027. And Cortavius Lyons, who plays at Miami Central and also reclassified down to 2027 from 2028. Mondo, there's so many kids reclassifying now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just hearing you say it, it's like wow. But as far as the point of, it's crazy how in one season the perception of the offense and or wide receiver position here in Miami has totally flipped, right? I mean,
Yeah.
before this last season, obviously, we know Jeremiah left and all that, but yeah, I could see why kids have Miami at the top of their list along with other schools going forward.
Yeah, I just love the factor of how the perceptions change for Miami with recruiting receivers. Like, it seemed like the 5-star guys would try to avoid Miami like the plague, and then between Cam Ward and then you had Malachi Tony and everything, the perceptions change very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Hassan shared here earlier. Gio and Brett, I'd rather listen to you guys than Trump. Howard Stern, word is Damon Wilson struggling against the run. I wouldn't say that. It's only 2 practices in with pads on, so just let everything flow. There's still plenty to go. You still got about like 2 scrimmages along the way and everything. There's still a lot on the clock. Blue Green Street, let's go. Thank you for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. YouTube.com/CanesWear. Mr. HD, about damn time, Mondo.
I'm here. Hey, bro, just blame the kids, man. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Blue Green Street, did you get your spring game tickets? I will be there as media, so we don't necessarily do like a ticket per se. It depends on the event. But Mondo, what about you on terms of tickets?
No, yeah, actually, we talked about it off there earlier. Yeah, I got them today because they gave everybody an assigned time. Now the funny part is, well, not funny, but there were some season ticket holders or Hurricane Club members that never even got an alert email because due to ongoing construction, and I drive by there a lot for work. I can see those facilities are going up very quickly. But yeah, they're not going to want X amount of cars there on a Saturday, and so that you could tell they're going to hold the crowd down. But I did get they were holding it at 2 tickets per person, and I'll be out there. I don't think it's going to be a massive crowd. I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
They
with
were
all the
the
construction.
yeah, the tickets were gone at 1 o'clock. Like people logged in at 1 o'clock to try to request them, and they were sold out already. So between 9 and 1 o'clock, they were gone. 3 or 4 hours. So it couldn't have been a big allotment. It couldn't have been a big allotment.
Hassan shared Gio and Mondo and his biceps. Howard Stern. Herd gets looking good, closing on the big. I'm not sure. Oh, big fish. Okay. Canes Jones from X. Thank you for always stopping by and showing support, Canes Jones. Really good friend of ours. He said, "What's up, guys? You mean he got permission to have the lights on? Mama, he's made it, Mondo."
Yeah, he has that good show he does on extra. I like listening to it when I can.
X Space, yeah.
Yeah. Good space. Sorry, yeah, good stuff. I like it.
Juan Manuel, he said, "Hey, you guys try to sneak one by me. Where is Brett and Mondo's arms?"
There's Juan Manuel. He's late.
Gio, is it true A Bella Danger is going to be at the pool party this weekend? I cannot confirm or deny. Money Counter 305, thank you for stopping by, Money Counter. Hey Gio, which QB would you personally want in this class? Menkel or Abrams? Well, those are the two currently at the top. It's been that way for a few months. If you've been in my private board, I said this 2 months ago. I know it's been a lot of dabbling. People have been asking about Davin Davidson. I've been consistent with this for months now that Florida expects Davidson in their class. Miami has still recruited him and whatnot. It's shuffling situation that they're dealing with all these quarterbacks, but Menkel has been their top guy. I think they have a better shot at Abrams. I do like the talent both of them have. I think Peter Bork, who's visiting tomorrow, is interesting. I know Miami's still in the initial stages of that, so they're going to try to feel him out tomorrow, kind of see where he's at with his recruiting process. So we'll see where he sits on the board afterwards. But right now, yes, it is between Menkel and Abrams in terms of like what realistically is the option for quarterback this class. Juan Manuel, Howard Stern, Abella Danger, has been told we are waiting on her STD exam for limiting exposure to the young men. Safety, as always, fires for both these young men. Oh, man. Mr. HD, thank you for stopping by. He said, so is Matthew McCoy or Tyree St. Louis at right tackle? Yeah, I remember Tyree St. Louis when he played for Miami. You remember him, Mondo?
Absolutely, yeah.
Kind of around the era when like guys like Joe Yearby and Mark Walton were playing.
Yeah, big dude. I remember. Absolutely.
He came from, I think he was in the same class that from IMG Academy where like Scott Patchen came out and Tyree St. Louis and the rest of those guys. Mm-hmm. He was a solid player. Hassan shared, Gio, hearing Texas A&M are making moves on Mark Matthews. Hopefully Miami can shut it down at the pool party and have him commit. Yeah, Texas A&M's trying a lot of stuff with some Florida guys this year. They tried some funny stuff too with Caden Henderson early on. They try with Mark Matthews. I've said it that I'm not worried about stuff like that right now. I'd be more worried like if it was the summer, like June or July, and you're hearing more about that. Again, Mark Matthews has never been shy about it, that he really loves Miami as a program. He's been very open about it with the media. He's been open about it. Even his teammates know this. Again, never does that mean someone's a lock. You still got to recruit them. But I don't know. I'd be surprised to see Mark Matthews end up somewhere else instead of Miami, especially considering the emphasis on offensive line. It just everything in total. I'd be very surprised. Juan Manuel, safety is always first for these young men. Oh my God. Gio and Mondo, I've heard really impressive reviews by the conservative David Lake as far as Miami for offensive tackles and defensive tackle depth. Plus Joshua Moore, he thinks he is pretty like a unicorn. um, yeah, I'll tell you this. I consider myself pretty decent friends with David Lake. I've gotten to know him quite a bit over past few years now, just being on the beat and everything. If David Lake is saying something, yes, you can definitely take it at face value. He does not beat around the bush. He's not telling you something to make you feel better. It's coming from people within as well. So if he's sharing certain things like that with you, if you're reading something on the site or whatever, yes, it's legit. Papa Cool 391. What you heard about Omar and Conrad, the transfer? I spoke about them both, but yeah, don't sleep on Conrad Hussey.
Yeah.
Juan Manuel, can you tell us about the young defensive tackles other than Justin Scott and Ahmad Moten? Well, obviously, you know Ahmad Moten's out this spring. Jarquez Carter and Keona Davis have gotten some looks between the 1s and 2s, with Moten being out alongside Justin Scott. Two of the young D tackles impressing early on is between Logan Nagel and Kashawn Stansel. Both have kind of flashed. Stansel's more a thing similar to like when Justin Scott arrived, needs to put on a little weight or whatever, but the talent absolutely there. Impressive first step as well, explosive for a D tackle. Nagel, from a physicality standpoint, really holds up early on. Money Counter 305. Gio, this 2027 class will show how good of a recruiter Corey Heatherman is. I believe he is top 2 defensive players in college. He needs to get at least 3 high-level linebackers. They've casted the net very wide at linebacker. They've even been chasing some guys that are like committed to other programs that not many people have really been paying attention to. Like Quentin Cypher is one that I know they're super interested in. They just hosted Noah Glover. They had Caden Henderson on campus not too long ago. There's going to be Jalathan Mayfield from the state of Georgia who's going to visit soon. There's several different guys on the board. I'm not concerned with linebacker. And not only that, they just hosted Rosen Randall as well as one of the best pure athletes in the country for this recruiting cycle. I'm not concerned right now, but we'll see. Got to let time pass by, see how they close on the linebacker class. Plenty of time on the clock. Mondo, one of our favorite guys, Mullet TV. Duck is here, everybody. Good luck. New
Duck is in the house. Love that guy. Ducky.
Yes, he's one of the best. And he always says something very true.
Run the football. Establish the run. He's been saying it for years. He's been saying it for years.
Pure leather helmet football.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, no, Duck's a great guy. I always love his commentary. I've seen some of his stuff even on posts that I've had out there on X.
Witty, very witty guy. He's funny as shit.
Let's see. Juan Manuel. Apparently, Conrad Hussey looks like a good-looking safety. Very good thing as far as Thornton coverage skills. He's apparently not a liability coverage. Yes, correct. But on what you heard about Conrad Hussey, yes. It's looking very good out there. 305 Sports Now. Thank you for stopping by 305 Sports. I believe that's Will.
That's Will, yeah. What's up, Will?
He said, I heard Judd Anderson has been looking good. Yeah, he's had some moments the past couple practices. Possum Jenkin, thank you for stopping by as always. I don't think folks care if the QB comes from the portal or recruiting. I believe they just want a multi-year starter instead of the one and dones. I agree with you. I get why fans could feel that way because you kind of feel like it's just a temporary band-aid when you get a guy that may just be here. You think technically a year. It's really not a year. It's only X amount of months, and then they're gone.
No, but I think a part of that also is in a sense, like, because people say like it's I wouldn't say the word quote unquote homegrown, but like if a guy's here 1, 2, 3 years, it feels like he grew up in the system, he was here, whatnot. So I think that plays a part of it also.
Absolutely. Sorry about that. I had an issue with my camera. He also shared, how's Chase Smith and I believe he's talking about Booker Pickett. Well, there's two Pickett's now. There's Cannon Pickett and Booker Pickett Jr. But Chase Smith, mentioned him earlier. New number. He's done well so far. There is some minor injuries, linebacker room, but nothing serious right now. But he's taking a lot of reps. He's taking a lot of reps between ones and twos. They're mixing and matching guys. It's still early on in camp, but he's done well early on. He's been one of the few that I mentioned that have impressed early on at linebacker, especially from a pass coverage standpoint as well, specifically. Possum Jenkins, random question. Which player that left Miami you think will have the most success at their new team?
Ooh. Good question.
I know people are going to hate one of the two I'm going to say. I was a big believer in Brock Schott as a recruit. I think he just needed more time, more seasoning, just still things that he needed to refine. But like the athletic traits are all there.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that can find some pretty good success down the line. I don't know if it'll be this year, but especially him going back home and everything, I'm sure that'll help out too. Some of these guys that come from different areas, they get homesick their first year if they're not like actively involved, engaged, and playing a lot. That happens naturally. And the other, JoJo Trader, never a talent thing. I think is more so just like an upstairs thing, like just mental things. Just if he can put it all together, the talent is there, and it's just consistency as well. If he can do that at his next stop, I do think you'll find success. Oh, and I'll say one more, because I've seen some people trash the kid, and I never understand why. I think he gets the flack because, how would I say it? Uncle Luke.
Yeah.
Uncle Luke is very passionate about his guys that have played for him, and rightfully so. I get it. It's one of your guys. I understand why he gets that way. However, I don't think Ray Joseph got enough credit from fans. You speak to anyone in the media, from a practice standpoint, or just even how he conducted himself as a teammate, and then also academically, just all those things added together. Ray Joseph can actually play. I think it's just unfortunate he was sandwiched between. You had a guy like Xavier Restrepo, who was a really good receiver. Like he just ton of work, is just pure work ethic guy, and then a special talent like Malachi Tony. Like I think the word special gets thrown around too much, but Malachi Tony is a special talent. That's obvious. I think it's tough being sandwiched between two guys like that, because I do think he was a good player. I watched him play in high school, watched him at Miami. He was having a really good offseason going into last year, and he was still like near the top of that rotation and everything. And I think people just went on to forget him or whatever, because they came to a mutual agreement that he would just redshirt and then move on to his next stop, and rightfully so. Your eligibility clock is ticking. It always is. Sometimes you have to move on to another opportunity to get your chance to put film out there and hopefully to potentially make the next level. I do think he's going to find success at his next stop. He's good. He's not trash. Like I've seen some people try to say, oh, Ray Joseph's trash. He's not trash. I'm telling you from personal experience. Will shared here. Mensa looks like a hybrid of Beck and Ward. Yeah, maybe in ways. Like I mentioned earlier, like when we were talking about QBs, Mondo, I think it's not fair to Mensa. I've seen some people trying to say like, oh my God, it's like it reminds me a lot of Cam Ward or whatever. Like, yeah, there's some similarities there, but I do think there's some stark differences as well. I just improvisation wise is the biggest one to me. I think Cam was better in that aspect, just improvising when things were off script, when the play would break down. But in terms of deep ball, like pushing down the field, I think that's something, like I said earlier, I think Mensa does better than Cam Ward did. Let's see. Don C. M. Leon. Oh, man, this guy's been around forever. Thank you for always stopping by. He's a really good guy. He shared here, Darian is more accomplished as a QB than Cam Ward. I guess he means like coming in. It's kind of debatable because Cam Ward, he had some really impressive numbers even getting to Miami. I guess it kind of depends. Maybe Darian
Maybe
had
team wise, maybe.
yeah,
Maybe.
like team success. I could agree with
Yeah.
that. Number wise, I think it's a little similar between the two.
Yeah. And Don is a good guy, and I know Don well. Don's a great guy.
Juan Manuel is not sure a thing, but Mensa leaves after 1 year. He has a chance to break 10 million barrier for a college QB. There are reasons for Mensa to stay away. Yeah, but to me, here's the thing. If Mensa has the season that people would expect, that he has a good year with Miami, and Miami gets themselves in the postseason, and no matter where the finish is this year, most people should probably expect that, that he would probably jump to the next level.
Sure.
It's very premature to say because a quarterback could have an injury in the middle of the year or something. So many variables can come into play. But I think if he has a good year, as people expect, I don't think he would be back for another one. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you never know. To your point, you never know what's going to happen. I don't think that we expected Ty Simpson from Bama to be going to the draft. I mean, that came. Am I right? He wasn't a senior, was he? No, nobody expected him to. So that's kind of it. You never know. You never know what happens.
To come back.
Yeah.
So Don shared here, Mensa is more accomplished as a QB than Cam Ward was at the stage. Yeah, in terms of team success, I do agree.
Oh, yeah.
305 Sports Now, Will. Gio, where's the hat? No hat for me anymore these days. Actually, a little insider on it. The reason why I used to wear the hat more often, I had gotten a surgery on my ear and everything and whatnot. Just long story, but that's why I don't wear the hat anymore now. That all cleared up, bandages off, and everything.
So is Will trying to say he's not a fan of the dreamy locks? Come on, Will. What's going on here, bro?
JV shared here. What are the rumors being put out that Lyle's playing? JV trolling again, like always.
I was like, JV, that's hot.
Yeah. Juan Manuel, Mensa second year to shatter and rewrite all Miami QB records, be a Heisman Natty winner. Mensa has a chance to be GOAT of Miami and possibly college football. Yeah, but I think it's tough. I think it's really tough to get some, like if he has a good year, as people expect, I think it's tough to get that second year. Howard Stern, that's a bold statement. Gio saying he's better than Ward throwing downfield. I do believe so. I think he's a better downfield passer than Ward was.
What about as far as like you mentioned the improvisation and taking chances? Yeah, I would imagine Ward did that more, like taking chances.
Yeah. I think Cam Ward is just very special in that aspect. Like there was times where there was nothing for the play, just nothing, and just the ability he had to, because it's not like he was the fastest guy or the most agile guy, Cam, but it was the vision that he had of the field when things were so chaotic that he could still find something when everything was breaking down. And I think that's something that is just rather innate than a quarterback could actually like develop. Like I just don't think, at least what I've seen on tape of Mensa, I don't think that's that same type of thing. It's just my opinion.
And I think Ward's going to take. Speaking of the pro game, he's gonna take a leap this season because he had nothing to work with last season. Coaching change. I think Brian Daboll is the new OC. He was a Giants head coach, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's in the. They have more weapons now. They pick some guys up.
Funny thing that you mentioned. Funny thing you mentioned Brian Daboll. When he was the head coach of the Giants, they really wanted to get Cam. Like big time. People forget this. The Giants were very much willing to make
a
trade with Tennessee to move up into that slot to get Cam, and Tennessee didn't budge. They were like, no, Cam's our guy. Like we're not budging. We're not trading away the pick. They stood firm on that, but the Giants were super wanted him, especially Daboll as well. And now the fact he's with Tennessee.
Yep.
Hey, Could be a perfect marriage for them.
Yep.
Blue Green Street. How long will Siskar be out? Is Galvin coming back soon? I think this is a perfect question for Mondo.
Baseball, yeah. Galvin is already taking batting practice. They're saying possibly 2 to 3 weeks. Siskar is just a mystery. He's, for those of you the baseball, what he's their Friday night guy. He's their number one pitcher. Was former he's a sophomore. He was their former Broward County High School Pitcher of the Year. Out of nowhere 2 weeks ago, it's an injury that hasn't really been discussed out there, and there was talk. JD Arteaga mentioned they may bring him in out of the bullpen to start off. It's kind of a mystery at this point. Goes without saying, he's your number one. You don't want to lose your number one, even though Rob Evans, who's your two, has probably been pitching better. But it's kind of a mystery with AJ Siskar right now to see what's going to happen with him.
Yeah, I've heard some discussions on that. I'm in some group chats with you as well. It's just
it came out of nowhere. It really did.
Lido Kane 305. Thank you for stopping by, my man. Hassan Gio. Miami having DJ Jacobs at the pool party. Hopefully they have him change his mind and show him why he had Miami as his favorite before the Luckeyes throwing all that money on him. Yeah, we'll see. I do think, as I mentioned earlier, I think he's one of those guys that it could play out in Miami's favor in the long run. DC forever loyal. He's talking about Mondo when you were crashing out with the camera thing.
Oh, you caught that? No way.
Yeah, it's funny. We were cracking up.
Yeah, man, my AirPods and my phone drive me crazy. Pissing me off.
Money counter. Gio, I know the whole country keeps saying, how is Miami going to replace 2 first-round defensive ends? Well, it's funny because me and Mondo were just talking about this earlier, but it's like at the same time, I mean, outside of Bain, did anyone think that Mesidor was going to be a first-round pick before the year? No.
No way. No way.
You know, I look at that like, to me, Mondo, even though, look, Damon Wilson's gotten some first-round projections as well. Like there's people enamored with his ability as a pass rusher, that they think he's a big-time pass rusher. But again, like I said earlier, I think if I'm looking at one guy specifically, like I've heard a lot on Marquise Lightfoot, and I agree. I do think Marquise Lightfoot's a guy who could take, again, another step this year. And I've heard a lot of good things specifically on Armando Blunt early on. But Justin Scott, I'm telling you, if there's a guy that I'm trying to like bank on this year, barring injury, that can take another big step, I think it's Justin Scott. I think Justin Scott has the talent to become a first-round guy.
Wow. Look forward to seeing him. Can't wait.
Money, so he mentioned, but what no one else is saying is we could possibly have 2 first-round D tackles. Agree with you. Can definitely happen. Keynes Jones said she must have came back in the room. Back to the darkness, Mondo goes.
That was before. So you think Moton could be a first rounder, you're saying? Is that as far as the 2 defensive tackles?
I think he was alluding to like Moton, which I said earlier in the show that, you know, there are some people who think that Moton could be a first or second round guy.
Awesome.
Don said Mondo is using the Iranian internet.
Listen to Don over here.
So JV with more trolls. Lyle at tight end, according to the rumors. Lofton Green Tree legend.
Oh Lord.
And JV mentioned that. Yeah, I've known JV for about 18 years. I thought it was like 16 or 7. I guess he's got the number down. But yeah, I mean, JV's he's kind of always been this way for years. I mean, since we were teenagers, bro, like he's just always liked to troll. Yeah.
Captain Contrarian.
Good people. Howard Stern. Josh Moore should have just redshirted last. Yeah, I mean, yes and no, because I think he got some quality snaps down the stretch. He played a good bit in the playoffs. He even had he had one pretty big catch during the playoffs too.
After the USF game, people were like exploding with his name though. They were like, "Hey, we found the next guy." Remember? So you know, hindsight's 20/20, I guess.
JV said we need a 5 to 6 wide receiver rotation this year. Agreed. And And I think Miami learned that along the way, that they kind of opened up that rotation down the stretch of the season. I do think you need to keep defenses honest, especially with how diverse Miami's receivers room is from a skill set and size situation with all these different receivers. You got to give teams different looks. You got to keep the defense honest. JV said the buzz that let. Oh my God, this guy. Jose Gonzalez, thank you for stopping by. I've been watching Miami play since Schnellenberger was coach, and I don't recall an overall deeper quality wide receiver room than this one. I'll be excited to watch it play out. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm all in on this receiver room.
I want to hear what you got to say, and maybe people can chime in as well. As far as, and obviously, we got Mensa, we know Malachi, all world. I've seen the numbers. What are you expecting from Barkay? What do you think he is, and what do you expect from him this season with Miami?
Consistent, good route runner, great play strength, great after the catch, kills teams in the intermediate game. I think he makes life easier for not only Malachi Tony, but for Darian Mensah too. He's just very reliable. And not only that, like for people questioning like his athleticism, he has plenty enough athleticism for the position. Every time when the conversation comes up about Barkay, I think of, he reminds me of a guy like Eric Decker, who played for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and he also had some pretty good years with the Denver Broncos as well.
Demaryius Thomas, yeah. All right.
Canes Jones, your exact words were, he ran a route so good, even the ref said, damn, I don't know what route that was, but it was good. I was there watching him blur those DBs last spring. He's talking about Josh Moore. Yeah, Josh Moore, he had some really big-time practices during spring last year. 305 Sports Now. The interior D-line is to be fired. The ends, I believe, will ball this year. I agree. I think you're going to see a little more rotation at defensive end this year, though. Martin Dubé, love this show. I'm up at 4 a.m. to watch it. Thank you, Martin.
Nice. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Howard Stern, Damian Lewis is the best defensive tackle playing for Miami, and I'm in my mid-30s. He played better than Will Ferg for me. Yeah, I don't think he gets enough credit. He was.
No, he does not. Very underrated. He was a hell of a football player.
Don said, God, I forgot about how terrible defensive tackle recruitment was.
Oh, God.
I mean, Miami was – they were in the abyss when it came to defensive tackle recruiting.
Me and Gio have always joked for years about when the F are we going to get defensive tackles, please.
No, we used to joke about it as well, that we would say,
God.
Man, LSU would take like 6, 7 D tackles. And I would joke, I'm like, yeah, they're going to run the first formation out there to have like five of those D tackles on the field at the same time. They were just stacking them, just straight stacking them. LSU, Alabama, stacking the D tackles. Some of them wouldn't even play, and they would enter the transfer portal and they'd be like, I don't want to go to Miami. I'll go somewhere else. Times have changed. No, times have really changed. Miami's getting the big uglies now.
Crazy.
Howard Stern, hiring ex-coaches, specialty coaches that were drafted and played in the league for a long time is the right way to go. Hire Patrick Surtain. Yeah, I know. The opinions are very split among the fans when it comes to Patrick Surtain, like whether he should have been the cornerback coach or not or whatever. I like him, but it is what it is. And the other thing, too, is I'll say this. I know there still hasn't been clarity about a cornerback coach, at least from Miami's side publicly, but spoken with a few people in high school scene and 7-on-7 scene, they say that Coach Jefferson is the cornerback coach, so we'll see. JV said, oh, man, JV is very critical. He's talking about Bain the previous season. Martin Dubé, Miami is so stacked in recruiting this year that I sent them film of a vertical athlete, 6'6", 275 pounds, rugby player from Zimbabwe. Didn't get traction. Wow, another rugby player.
Oh, the kid that just went to South Carolina, correct?
Well, no, not only that one, but Martin's talking about another one.
No, I mean I was comparing it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was a whole craze with that guy. His film got out and like whole recruitment exploded in the matter of like 2 weeks.
Wow,
Power of social media now, man.
that is true.
Howard Stern, let's forget about the past. F. Manny Diaz. He should have never been hired. He hired 2 coaches that were coaching or going to Temple. That tells you everything. But let's not forget Mario. Still an effort, and it's only a matter of time before it comes back to bite them in the ass. Stay out of the way, Mario. We'll be fine.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, Howard's very critical of Mario. NFL Draft 23-25. Hey, Gio.
Okay.
Let's see. Hassan asks here, Gio, hearing Miami's making major moves on the number 1 safety, Jaquan Snell. Yeah, him, Gabriel Osborne, who visited as well. They're looking at several other guys too. Andre Hippolyte, who internally they view as like a national scale prospect. They have the safety board very wide. So I'm not whatsoever concerned with Miami and defensive back recruiting. They're going to get theirs. Howard Stern, is Armando Blanc going to primarily play defensive end or D tackle? Both. He will play at both again. Jose Gonzalez, Indiana won the national championship. Indiana won the national championship last year, playing solid in all 3 phases last year. Miami, this will be solid on offense, solid on defense. Special teams, what do you think will happen this year? Well, Jose, through the early portion of spring practice, there's been a very big emphasis on just procedural drills and everything boiling down to special teams. I mean, I mentioned that, and my guy Steve Kim, he took to the X the Twitter streets and he said, I heard from both Gio and Peter Rees. I saw
that.
He said the biggest thing that stands out to me, the emphasis on special teams already as soon as spring practice opens. So I agree with Steve. Yeah, it's important. Yeah. It's important, especially after you saw what transpired and everything. Yeah. I mean, to alleviate fans' concerns too. Yeah. Juan Manuel, is J.J. Edwards participating in spring? Yes, he is. Is Kellen Wiley a potential pass rusher? He has ability to rush the passer. Conrad Hesley does look good as a safety. Are they giving him number 38 number then? Numbers are not set in stone right now. There's still some numbers available and open, and some guys swap after spring as well. So we'll see. Howard Stern, yeah, Miami's been bringing the best talent in the country for years since Mario got here, but now it feels like we could really close them. Agreed. Let's see. Bryson Wright, do you see him reclassifying? That I've talked about it before. You're talking about the 2028 receiver. Yeah, it's on the table that he could reclassify. But I wouldn't say he's like some lock or anything for Miami. Florida State will be in there. Ohio State, Miami's in the mix too. Family's big Florida State fans for years, but they're having a lot of troubles as a program. So even like guys that were obsessed with Florida State within their families, they're looking elsewhere these days, so anything can happen. He said, I told you, Gio, we're going to sign 4 to 5 reclassified players. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, I like how Miami stands for Amir Sears. There's other players in play. Even the corners they're going to host as well. Both of them have had offers. Now, things can change when kid reclassifies, down from one class to another, just broad scope, like there's other prospects that are in the class. You just got to let it play out. But I do think Miami can sign a top 5 class. Juan Manuel shared, Gio and Mondo, I'm becoming addicted to the prize transfer QB. I don't want to go back to 5-star high school brats. Let's go after California quarterbacks after California's quarterback after Cal sucks in 26. He's talking about oh my God. What's his name
the
again?
lefty? The lefty.
Yeah. JKS. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking about JKS from Cal.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with him. It's very impressive. I want to see what he does this year, though. I want to see if he elevates his game even more. Because the flashes were all there last year.
Absolutely.
Hassan, subscribe and smash the like button. Like the Celtics, smashing the Lakers. All the love for you, Mondo.
I don't know. Lakers have turned it around this season.
They have.
Lately.
Didn't they cross the 50-win mark the other day?
Yeah. I mean, Luka's just been on an MVP level type tear this season. And LeBron's he's not what he was before, but they're playing well. Obviously, we'll see in the playoffs when teams play defense every possession and stuff like that. But as far as the last 10, 15 games, they've really turned it up. And Celtics, I think people had thought that maybe that Tatum might miss the year, and nobody was picking Boston to go far, but they're looking pretty fierce the last couple of weeks, Boston. So they might be headed back to the final. We'll see. See what happens.
Andrew Brown stopping by. Thank you. He said, "Hey, Gio, if you had to call your shot, how many of the 5 stars on any publication that Miami is currently recruiting do they land?" It's kind of tough to go down all the names because there's several 5 stars they're getting involved with. There's even new 5 stars that are coming into the picture now as well for them. But I know I was asked this question before, and I set the number, like, kind of like my line on it. I think Miami can land 4. That's my safe number I put down. I think they could do 4 in this class. I think that can be realistic. I don't want to say more. Maybe it could be less, but I do think they could do 4 in this class. They already got 1 in the fold. Really like them for about 2 other guys that they're in the mix for right now, and they're still battling for several others that are rated 5-star prospects. So just a lot of clock left, a lot of time left on the clock. And like I said, I think it can be a top 5 class for Miami. I like it. Even in the past, Mondo, I've said it before, that before last season, that I always said, Miami's a tier 2 team in recruiting, that I think they could jump up to that tier 1 by being in the postseason, changing perception. I think this is the year that it happens, that they jump into that next tier. You see it just even with the interest, like so many kids want to be around the program.
Absolutely.
Juan Manuel, hey, Gio and Mondo, is it safe to say that Miami's O-line from center to left guard to left tackle will be better at run blocking with Rodriguez, Sampson, Camp? Tough to say. I want to see more of them up close. King Kel, that's Kellen Wiley's father. What's up, Gio? Thank you for stopping by, my man. He said, Raymond Rodriguez, damn, I miss Brett to bother him about new fitted hats. I'll have to catch him next time. Yeah, Brett, he'll be on the next episode. Don't worry. He just had some technical difficulties today. King Kill said, Gio, my bad. Canes Jones, Money Counter 305. You really don't know how we recruit around the brand. It's not just Corey, it's the whole staff and others that recruit players once they are a target. Will said, hey guys. One man Will said, has Matthews met Malachi Tony and Nick Lanier, Cantwell, and Congdon? Who will be their teammates during his time here? Who has a better situation for him to succeed? Well, when it comes to how do I say it? When it comes to Mark Matthews, yeah, he was at 305 Day when Nick Lanier committed, and other guys that are committed to the program are there, and even current players as well. So a lot of familiarity there. King Kel, Booker, Chase looks good. Joe, yeah, everyone mentioned the same thing that that I was saying here about like players that are no longer with the program.
With us, right?
Could have success in the next stop. Yeah, JoJo. Even Kellen Wiley's father said JoJo as well. Brock Shot. Yeah. Ray. Humble Rabbi. Thank you for stopping by, Humble Rabbi. He said Mensa also has way better weapons than Cam. I agreed. I think Mensa's receivers room is deeper than the receiver room that Cam Ward had.
Definitely on that. But Cam had Arroyo. I'll say that.
Yeah. Will shared, I can't talk about hair. Gio has more hair than I do. I'll tell you this. Look, you see, I'm exposing myself here. My hairline, it's going. It's not the same as it was years ago.
Bro, I'm hanging on for dear life. I got the fade a couple of days ago, but I got like 4 hairs left. So I'm not saying nothing about nobody's hair.
We Rabbit, thank you for stopping by from X. He said, is Cooper Barcade as good as advertised? Yes.
Be Rabbit.
I mean, he's not going to be the sexy pick for everyone because he's not like this overly explosive receiver that's just super fast. But excuse me, but that's not his game. It's never been his game. Humble Rabbi, Cam's arm talent, strength, and his instincts were all elite. we are just talking at this stage. I expect Mensa to take a leap with us too. I agree. I just think Cam was a better improviser than what Darian Mensa was, at least what I've seen from tape. But I'm not joking when I say that. Yes, I do think Darian Mensa throws a better deep ball than even Cam Ward did.
I can't wait to see that.
Juan Manuel, hey, do you think Mario Cristobal, Kevin Beard will send Easter eggs and share graces with Uncle Luke this year? Or is it more realistic for Donna Shalala to win a bathing suit contest in South Beach?
Oh, Juan.
Let's see here. Gregory Parchment. Greg reposted the stream. Thank you for sharing the stream. We're right at the end, actually.
Thank you, Gregor.
Bobby Perkins, thank you for stopping by. He said, I'm worried about the defense. I'm not worried about the defense.
No, I'm not. After last season with this staff, I'm not worried about anything, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have said that in the middle of last season, but I'm not worried about anything.
Juan Manuel said, how much is Lightfoot weighing now? I think Lightfoot could set the edge better than West. He is, I know he's like 235, 240 range now. He's gained some weight since last year, but not bad weight. 352 MLW. Is Joshua Moore looking more explosive? D said people are saying he's potentially the fastest guy. I don't know if I want to say he's the fastest guy on the team, but he is one of the fastest. And I've mentioned this since last week. Like, when you talk about purely like just explosiveness at receiver, like getting downfield, I said two specific guys. If you listen to me on Sunday on Locked On Canes with Dono, I said Josh Moore and Vandrevius Jacobs. Those two in particular in that aspect, and I'm getting parched here. In that aspect, they're really going to impress people. Just being able to get downfield. But yeah, he's super fast for a guy that's 6'4", almost 220 pounds.
That's
he's
crazy.
He's a freak show, Monda. I'm telling you.
Oh, he looks the part. Tell you that much.
352 asked me, you see Eric Decker? Yeah, I see shades of Eric Decker in Cooper Barkate. He asked me, how fast do you think Cooper Barkate is? Fast enough at this level. I don't think he's like a 4.4 guy. I think that's evident, but I don't think he needs to be for the type of receiver that he is. He's a really good route runner, great play strength, great after the catch as well, can make guys miss, and kills guys in the intermediate game as well. I think he's a guy, too, that you could still play with him in the screen game as well because of his play strength, how he can break tackles. If you're lazy out there, if you're trying to tackle this guy with one arm, you're not going to bring him down.
No, if we get anything like Eric Decker type play, which is a good comp that you're saying, that I'd be ecstatic with that. I mean, for those who don't know who Eric Decker was or as a player, he was a solid ball player.
Very solid player. Again, for some people, that may not be their cup of tea. Some people like, the super fast, explosive receivers.
Yeah.
I like technicians at receiver as well. I like guys that like just solid route runners, good hands, consistent, reliable, moving the chains.
No, and that's what makes Malachi interesting, because he like you talk about Josh Moore. We've touched on him a lot in this episode. Malachi is in the 6'2", 6'3", 230.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would just look at him, you wouldn't think that, but he plays. He's just a monster. It's crazy. He really is something that I've probably never seen before. That height at freshman, that is just insanity, man.
I'll tell you this, because I talk about this. I talked about this before with Larry Bluestein. I'm good friends with Larry, and we both came to the determination on this that like just the amount of core strength, that Malachi Tony has. Like, just watch, like even like the contact balance he has. Like when guys hit him or knock him off balance, how he's still able to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's a testament to his core strength. Like, he doesn't need to be the biggest guy, but like his just that core strength, this whole area right here, impressive.
No, that, and Mario said it since early last year. He's the first guy there in the morning at 5, 6 in the morning. He's watching film and all that, and just I can't believe we still have about 2 more years of him at least. It's so fun watching that guy play football. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Juan Manuel said, to me, Miami stubbornness worked against them. So using mostly 3 wide receivers rotation gets your receiver tired and predictable. Why not use wide receiver and find a weak spot in tires? Yeah, I think Miami learned that along the way last year. I think that's why you saw them open that rotation back up as the season went on. I was hammering about that here for a couple of weeks during the season. I said they should open up the rotation. You need to give different looks. Juan Manuel, caveman football doesn't win championship. Look last year, Florida game 13-0, feeling 31-0, only for a touchdown drive and a potential turnover to beat you for. Yeah, I think that type of football, also like that smash mouth football, really helped Miami in the playoffs. I think you have to play a certain way against certain opponents. I think that could work against teams like that, like postseason, like true like dynamite teams. But I think teams in the ACC get really creative, and I think that's what has been in Miami before in the past, and that the motto should be going forward, like Miami adopted after the SMU game, is we got to go out there and be aggressive, play football like fireworks type of football, just put points on the board. I think they learned that.
Yep.
Juan Manuel, why can't that Army coach we brought over be the special teams coach title? I don't think he's ever coached special teams before. Blue Green Street, who's going to be our cornerback? I already spoke about that. Awesome, Jenkins, you should do a projected depth chart. How about this? On the next show, I'll do a projected depth chart, like what I think each position will be. Just early on, just for fun. Juan Manuel, does Chase Smith and Mo Torre receive their Medicare and AARP card yet?
Oh, damn.
Both can join Senior Bingo Club in Kiocha for free. That's mean.
That's rough. That's rough, man.
352 shared Eric Decker was a dog. Yes, he was.
Hell yeah, he was.
Player. And last one of the night, Juan Manuel, again, thank you as always for your support. Well, we have one more here, actually. I think Joshua Moore, if he trains in track, could get down to sub 4.4. Joshua Moore is naturally fast, but he has another level to hit as far as speed. I don't know. This is a tough one to say, but I do remember that. It's funny because I had people argue about this with me when Joshua Moore was coming out of high school, that there were some Miami fans, they argue, they say, oh, he looks slow on film. I'm like, are you sure about that? Like, I've seen him play before. He's not slow at all. And sure enough, ever since he's been here at Miami, he's been known to be an explosive guy. So, yeah. LTO official. I think we need to figure out how to crush those SMU, Ole Miss type teams so those games aren't close. Yeah, I think Miami's figuring that out. I think they have figured it out since last year. Juan Manuel, Malachi reminds me a lot of Desmond Howard, less explosive. Did you guys see some of Desmond Howard's film? Yeah, but I think Malachi Tony's a much more polished receiver than Desmond Howard was. Like maybe Desmond Howard was more explosive, but Malachi Tony, he's the much more polished receiver between the two, in my opinion. And last one, Mello said, Mello 78969, you need super chats. Yeah, there's no super chats yet on the CanesWear channel. Like the CanesWear one, like if you go to youtube.com/CanesWear, it's a brand, like completely brand spanking new YouTube channel. So building it out for CanesWear and everything. So he also said here, what's your Cash App? I want the Cash App you to pull up this comment that I'm going to write after you acknowledge. Go ahead, Mello. Let me know. Let's take one last question of the night. As a matter of fact, let me check Cash App here. King Kel said, let's kick the ball off already. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, hell yeah.
We're still so far away from the season just being in spring. But I'm just glad that there is spring football right now. There's something to talk about.
Yeah, it'll be exciting just to go out there. And I think it's being televised, right? Some people are mentioning that it may be on ACC network, the spring game. I don't know. I haven't seen if that's true, but some people were saying that today. But I'm looking forward to getting out there and seeing the guys, the team, and new season's here, man. I mean, a few months away, but it's going to be fun to see you out there and see the squad, and it should be a fun time.
Absolutely. I just, to me, with the spring game, I just want to see how some of the players, how would I put it this way? I want to see how some of the players respond to some level of pressure of, you've been playing during spring practice and everything.
Right.
Not really fans there or anything, like just like a game day type of environment. Like how do they respond to that? Like that's another big thing. The reason why I say is, like, I tell people there's still 2 more scrimmages even before the spring game. I want to see like what the response is. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm getting super parched here. Mello said here, first off, DJ isn't flipping. OSU doesn't lose recruits that they deem necessary. So good luck with that. And Bane can get in his ear. We had Cam Hayward, Russell Bros, and Chase. We got Ohio State fan. That's funny. I do respect it though, the trash talking. He said, Chris Nicola said, Fletcher, Lyle, Scott.
I'm not sure what would that be possibly a response to the question of who would be better elsewhere?
I think he's talking. No. I know exactly what he's talking about. The Miami flipped Mark Fletcher, Jordan Lyle, and
okay,
Scott from Ohio State. And they also beat Ohio State out for Marquise Lightfoot. People forget that. But let's see. Mello 7969. Also, who would you rather play in front of 50,000 fans instead of 110,000? There's so much trash talk going on right now. Here's the thing. I'm telling you, as a South Floridian for 32, going on 33 years now. I'll be 33 years old in a couple months here.
Young buck.
Yeah. Well, no, you've been a South Floridian longer than me. You could say it better than me, but it's always been like this. Even when Miami was winning championships in the 1980s, like even at the Orange Bowl, like there was games against teams that are just okay that there wasn't a lot of people in the stands. It's always been like this. Miami's always been like this as a city.
It's a big event, a quote unquote big event town. I will say this though. I think it's going on my 7th year of season tickets because I used to work a lot of Saturday. That's why I would have had it longer. This year, there's hardly nothing left. Like obviously this playoff run was the big driving force in that, but you're going to see much bigger. I'm telling you that if you go online to look for tickets, there's some, but there's even a waiting list now to get season tickets, which is unheard of for the Hurricanes in football. There's a waiting list to get them. That's hasn't happened. I can't. It hasn't ever. I don't think.
Well,
I look
at it like this, Mondo. Maybe the newer generations might be a little different because look at what has happened with the Florida Panthers. Do you see the fan support that they get? It wasn't like that years ago. It's changed drastically.
Of course not.
Let's see. They weren't necessary. Still, they had Trey Anderson, Tyler Williams, Mike Hall, came in. Anything else? A humble rabbi. I mentioned earlier that Jordan Lyle has had a really nice start to camp. He's done really well, especially since the pads have come on. Chris Nicholas, so then the ones you lose aren't necessary, but the ones you keep are okay. Got it. He's got a good point there. One Manuel, hey Monda and Gio. No April Fool's joke. April Fool's joke, man. I can't even think of one right now. I don't want to joke with you guys right now because, like, I don't know, maybe someone will take it literal. But
it's almost April 2nd.
That's true. Yeah, we're right around the corner from Mello shared here. DJ is still there. They won't lose him because they DM have right at their belly. That's already, it's not the same dude. One player is whatever either way. So your comment isn't true. Your comment is all right.
We got trash talk. We got trash talk in the comments.
No, a ton of trash talking going on. Wanted to say thank you to everyone that stopped by. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It's a brand new channel. It's youtube.com/CanesWear. Mondo, as always, Thank you for stopping by, my man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
For the support as always. Thank you for just check the numbers between the different streams. It's like over 1,000 people that stopped by for the late night crew. Thank you to all the late night crew out there that stopped by to watch. We'll be back again very soon. It'll either be, I believe it's going to be either tomorrow evening or Friday evening. I'll get with Brett or whatever. Next time we'll be on. And Who Wants Smoke is coming back very, very soon. Very, very, very soon.
All right.
Stay tuned. All righty, everyone. That's a wrap from us. Mondo, any closing thoughts?
No, all good. I'll see you out there at the spring game, right? Go
Yes,
Canes.
I'll see you there.
All right,
All righty, everyone. Go Canes.
Thank you, everybody. Go Canes.